Reborn before my terrible girlfriend forced me to get sterilized. The very first thing I do? Use my money to trick her into getting a birth control implant instead. I personally escort her right into the operating room. In my past life, she told me she absolutely hated the very idea of having kids. She talked me into a vasectomy. Blinded by love, I actually got on that operating table, and then stayed happily married to her for years. I endured endless gossip from friends and family, never complaining once. But then, just 5 years into our supposed happy marriage, the script completely flipped. She suddenly regretted it. She wanted a baby, but due to my health, the procedure couldn't be reversed, so she demanded a quick divorce. I refused. I foolishly thought I could somehow win her back, but in the end, she cheated on me with my own secretary, and even got herself pregnant. Those two teamed up to destroy me completely. Right before I died, she actually humiliated me, calling me nothing but a useless, pathetic eunuch, claiming I couldn't even give her a child. Then she tricked my parents, saying the baby was mine, slowly taking over every single thing I own. She went on to steal my family's wealth too. I coughed up blood from pure rage, completely paralyzed as they set their deadly, calculated traps. I could only watch helplessly as they trapped my parents. But right here is where the payback begins. I'm suddenly reborn, back to the exact day. The day she convinced me to get that vasectomy. Honey, you don't want kids, right? Giving birth is so painful. You love me so much. You definitely couldn't bear to see me suffer, right? Wrong. When I open my eyes again, Thum T Eng is resting comfortably right in my arms, hugging me tightly, whining a tea. Why aren't you saying anything? Seemingly annoyed by my cold reaction, she pouts her lips and glares up at me, looking completely wrong. My mind just goes totally blank. I really have been reborn, running to the very moment before that life-ruining surgery took place. Thum T Eng tries to kiss me, but I firmly shove her away. If you don't want to have kids, then we won't. Really? Her eyes instantly light up. Then you'll go get the vasectomy? I reply with absolute calm. Why should I? Just because you don't want to give birth. Why should I do it? If you don't want kids, you go get a birth control implant. Why force me to tie my tubes? The moment those words drop, Thum T Eng's face instantly changes. You dare speak to me like that? In her eyes, I've always been a desperate simp, a lovesick puppy who constantly backed down for her, always gently coaxing her, never daring to say a harsh word. But this time, I firmly push her away and head back to my desk to work. Seeing I have absolutely no intention of comforting her, she furiously grabs her bag and walks right out. Of course, I fully know she will return. She will definitely come back, because I'm the absolute richest boyfriend she could ever find. Without me around, who else is going to pay off her car? Who's going to buy her all those designer brands? I instantly cut off all her supplementary credit cards, and completely block her across every single contact method. Turns out, blocking someone is actually that easy. No wonder she blocked me every single time she threw a tantrum in the past, while I was left hanging, like a total idiot, borrowing phones just to beg her back. But this time, you'll love this part. I'm going to make her beg instead. Beg me like a literal dog. Half an hour later, Thum T Eng storms in furiously. LT, what is the meaning of this? You dare block my number? Blocked my WeChat too? She marches over, glaring daggers at me. I just sit there quietly, staring right back at her completely unhinged, rage-filled face. I smirk and fire back. If I hadn't frozen your credit cards, you probably wouldn't have even realized you were blocked all day long, would you? What do you mean? Think about it. An hour is just enough time for shopping. You tried swiping my card. It declined. So you tried calling to complain. Then you finally realized you were blocked, right? She still keeps her aggressive energy up, raising her chin and snapping back. So what if I did? You made me mad. So spending your money is perfectly justified. Well, from the moment we broke up, you lost. All right. To spend my cash. She stares at me in pure disbelief. What are you saying? Exactly what it sounds like. You can leave now. And just like that, her arrogant vibe shatters. Her face completely crumbles into utter panic. What do you mean? You're just angry, right? In the past, no matter how mad you ever got at me, you stayed. You never once threatened to break up. She desperately lunges forward, grabbing my hand tight. Please don't be mad at me anymore. Okay, are you furious because I don't want kids? I don't hold her hand like I used to. Instead, I coldly shake her off right there. How could I be? What a coincidence. I'm also someone who doesn't want kids, just like you. Really? Then we absolutely can't break up now. You see, our views are so perfectly aligned. Who else could be a better match? I looked down at her and let out a cold, sharp laugh. That's right. I used to think the exact same thing. Overjoyed, she throws herself at me, expertly settling onto my lap. I knew it. I knew you still loved me, but I grip her chin hard, forcing her to look straight into my eyes. But I don't want to get the vasectomy. So what do we do now? She hesitates for a second, then whispers softly, but if you don't do it, what if I accidentally get pregnant? Right after that, she instantly starts whining again. Just consider doing it for my sake, please. Besides, a vasectomy can easily be reversed later on. It's not like they're cutting it off forever. I can't help but sneer inwardly. In my past life, I fell for this exact same beautiful lie. And 5 years later, I went to every single hospital, only for the doctors to tell me it was too late to fix. I had permanently become completely ruined. A man entirely incapable of ever having children. But right then, she suddenly changed her mind and craved a baby. She even used that exact excuse against me, using it to force me into a divorce. And somehow, after that, she actually got pregnant. Obviously, that kid wasn't mine. Dumb Tieng continues her little acting game, whining in my arms. I swear, if you just get the vasectomy, I'll marry you. I'll treat you well forever and absolutely never betray you. She promises she won't judge me. We can spend our whole lives together. No annoying kids tying us down. Just traveling wherever we want. Sounds perfect, right? I gently lift her chin. Is that so? I tell her my parents definitely will not agree to it. But hey, how about this? You get your tubes tied instead. Just do that, and I will marry you. I promise I will never judge you for it. How does that sound? I basically throw her exact words right back in her face. Her expression instantly goes pale. She stammers out my name, asking what on earth I am saying. I just keep a totally straight face. I pick up a new business proposal. If we pull this massive project off, the profits could easily hit $20 million. Her eyes absolutely light up at that number. I tell Tieng that if she gets the surgery for me, I will absolutely guarantee her a life of pure luxury. She hesitates, whining that the surgery hurts so much. Oh, really? So it turns out she actually knows how painful it is. I push further, reminding her that my parents would never, ever let me go through with it. What if I do the surgery and they completely cut me off from the family? I still need their investment capital for this $20 million project. So she is going to have to make the sacrifice. I promise that after we tie the knot, I will handle my parents if they ask for kids. Tieng totally loses her previous cocky attitude. Now, her head is just completely filled with dollar signs. I mimic her gentle, coaxing tone. I tell her that women can always reverse the procedure later down the line. Anyway, if she ever actually wants a baby, we just go to the hospital and undo it. Simple. Finally, she actually falls for it and completely agrees to my ridiculous demand. But right before heading into the operating room, she panics. She cries that she is just too scared. I fake a patient sigh and coax her. I say, if you are terrified of this tiny procedure, imagine how much worse giving birth would be. So let us just get this minor discomfort out of the way. That completely strikes her deepest fear of pain. Trembling from head to toe, she finally forces herself to step right through those operating room doors. Are you seeing how easily she walks into her own trap? I just wait outside, casually dialing my company's HR department to check on our autumn recruitment drive. They ask what is up. I tell them I am currently short one secretary and want to drop by Dongha University to scout. I tell them to wait up. They are shocked I am recruiting in person. Yep. Soon enough, Tieng finishes up her surgery and gets wheeled out into the hall, still completely groggy. I instruct the hired nanny to watch over her carefully, then head straight out to Dongha University. The recruitment fair is already packed with so many major companies scouting for fresh talent. Students are absolutely swarming the place for opportunities. My HR team is already super busy discussing all the different potential candidates, so no one even notices I walked in. I ask for an update, wondering if anyone is ready to interview. They all jump in surprise, quickly handing over the sign-up sheet. They hand it over, unsure if the applicants will actually show up. I just casually scan down the list of names, and there it is. The name on Ha jumps right out at me. In my past life, this exact guy came to interview at our company. At first, he was just a totally average employee, but by flirting heavily with Tieng, she constantly hyped him up and praised him right to my face. So I actually ended up promoting him to be my personal secretary. I was so incredibly blind back then. They were hooking up right under my nose, and I did not find out until way later. I point right at Anha's name. I tell them to call him in for the secretary position. HR hesitates, saying he is just a fresh graduate. They suggest a secretary really needs solid prior experience. I just wave them off, replying calmly that this guy feels like a perfect fit. Let us just go with him. Right on cue, my phone rings with the call from Tieng. She whines, asking where I am and why I'm not there. The anesthesia is wearing off and she is in agony. I reply that I have urgent business, so I specially hired a nanny to look after her. Is that okay? At first, she sounds pretty annoyed, but hearing I paid for a private nanny finally calms her down. She huffs, saying, that is fine, but demands I visit her. The second I am done, I hang up and head back to the office. Ha is already waiting right outside. Seeing me approach, he instantly leaps up, looking super timid as he greets me. I tell him to grab a seat. No small talk, just straight to business. I mention he originally applied for an HR role, but I actually need a new secretary. I ask if he wants to give it a shot. His eyes absolutely light up. He stammers out a yes. Perfect, I say. Start tomorrow. Do a good job. And once you are officially hired, your salary hits 30 grand a month. He practically vibrates with excitement, thanking me over and over. The guy is so hyped, he almost trips on his way out. I just sit back and quietly watch him leave. The grand plan in my head is finally taking shape. Meanwhile, Tieng recovers super fast and gets discharged in no time. Right now, her greedy little mind is entirely focused on one thing: how I'm going to compensate her. First step, reactivate her credit card. But when she rings me up, she realizes I am completely swamped with work. I tell her I have to fly out to negotiate that massive project, so I cannot be there. I say I am worried a stranger might neglect her, so I am sending my own personal secretary to look after her instead. Tieng acts all cute, asking since when I had a secretary, male or female. A guy, obviously. I joke that even if she picked out a female secretary for me, I would not dare accept. Hearing that, she finally relaxes and nods. She huffs playfully, praising my loyalty, but she still pouts about me missing her discharge day. So I casually drop that I just wired her 30 grand to spend on whatever she wants. If she needs more, just ask. She practically squeals, calling me her lovely darling before hanging up. Now, watch how this trap closes. I pull Ha aside. I tell him to take real good care of her. Ha hesitates, nervously muttering that he is terrible at looking after girls. I lean in close, lowering my voice. I tell him looking after her is secondary. His real job is keeping a strict eye on her. He looks confused. Why? I fake a heavy, helpless sigh. I confess that I recently caught her texting some other guy. She swore she changed, but I am still totally terrified. She is sneaking around behind my back. When I am not around, you help me keep an eye on her. Report anything suspicious immediately. Understood? Right then, a thought flashes through Ha's mind. A flurry of ideas. So the boss's girl is actually quite flirtatious, huh? He immediately wonders what would happen if he seduced her himself. Catching his greedy look, I just secretly laugh to myself. I even give his shoulder a solid pat. Right now, you're the guy I trust the absolute most. You absolutely have to help me monitor her. Rest assured, boss, I will get the job done. But the very second I step away, he instantly drops the loyal act completely. He takes the initiative and calls Tieng directly. Hello, is this Miss Thum? I am the secretary working for the boss. You are leaving the hospital soon, right? I will come pick you up right away. Tieng steps outside, gets in the car, and immediately spots some flowers resting on the seat. Ha quickly speaks up to explain things. Miss Thum, you just got discharged. I honestly did not know what to buy. So I got this pretty bouquet, hoping you might like it. She acts genuinely touched, brushing the petals and cheering. Oh wow, how did you know I'm crazy about these exact flowers? Ha immediately plays along with her. Really now? That must be pure fate then. I picked them carefully, but I never expected they would suit your taste so perfectly. Meanwhile, I sit quietly listening to this flirtatious vibe in the car, just scoffing coldly. Tieng definitely has no clue that I was the one who left that bouquet in the car beforehand. Ha is just stealing my credit entirely, and she has even less idea that I planted a listening device right inside my own vehicle. Everywhere they go, every word they say, I hear it all. During the days I am away on business, those two sneak out for food and drinks every single day, planning out fun dates together. After chatting for a while, they start opening up about their hometowns where they graduated and their favorite styles of clothes and music. At first, hearing them teeing laugh so cheerfully with him, actually, feel a little bit bitter inside. After all, she never treated me with that kind of warmth. But thinking it over, this kind of person is basically not worth my feelings at all. I was the one lowering myself, just to let her step all over me time and time again. This time around, I absolutely will not make that same mistake twice. Exactly. 1 month later, they finally move way past just harmless flirting. The two of them officially start an affair, and they use my money to pay for the hotel room. But I am not even mad. Instead, I actually let on. Earn a lot more cash. Before long, a coworker invites on a mountain climbing trip. He immediately wants to bring them Tiang along for the ride. I listen as they excitedly discuss all the gear they need to pack for the trip. Tiang gently whines in a cute voice. People say climbing a mountain is the ultimate test before marriage. You know, I am so excited to go with you. If we can actually reach the very top together, then let's get married. Is clearly stunned by this. Married? But wait, aren't you supposed to be the boss's girl? Tiang gets a little annoyed. So what if I am the boss's girl? Are you looking down on me now? He awkwardly stammers back. No, it is not that. I just graduated, and I really need the money. If you break up with the boss, to be with me, he will absolutely fire me on the spot. But Tiang acts completely nonchalant about it. So what? Can't you just find another job somewhere else? You landed a secretary role for the boss right after graduating. Finding an even better job later on will not be hard at all. Is clearly still hesitating. Let's just figure this out later, he says. What does that mean? Tiang snaps, clearly unhappy. You want me to stay with LT then? Of course not, he replies. I want you all to myself. But LT has so much money. Are you really going to walk away from him just like that? No regrets at all? Now watch how he plays her. He casually brings up that 20 million project. And just like that, Tiang snaps back to reality. He still has so much money lying around. If I break up with him right now, I would be losing out big time. Exactly. My sweet Ang is the absolute smartest. They hold each other tight, kissing passionately as those sickeningly sweet sounds fill the car. But wait, if you actually end up marrying him, would you really not mind? Why would I mind? He whispers. I love you for who you are. On the other end of the line, I almost laugh out loud. G is so incredibly foolish. Does Anha actually love her? No, he just loves her money. If you truly care about someone, how could you possibly just sit back and watch them marry someone else? Sadly, she is quite young and completely misses this obvious truth. But that is fine. Tomorrow, I'm going to pry her eyes wide open. By then, she will finally realize that betraying me for Anha is the absolute worst decision she could ever make. They leave the car, and I pull my headphones off. Right on cue, my phone rings. Hey man, that girl you asked me to track down. I finally have an update. I freeze up for a second. Really? Where is she right now? She is actually working over in a manufacturing factory. I'm genuinely shocked. Working? She is not even old enough to work yet. Why is she not in school? Man, she is a total top student, our junior from the exact same high school, 2 years below us. But her family is struggling. Her parents favor sons over daughters. She got into a top-tier university, and yet, her parents forced her to work. They literally tore up her admission letter and confiscated her ID card, with absolutely no other options left. She had to get a job. It is just incredibly tragic, considering she had such a bright future ahead of her. Anyway, why were you looking for her? In the first place? Hearing all this, my heart just aches with heavy bitterness. Find that factory's address and send it to me. I immediately hang up the phone and start driving over. Along the way, I pick up a few cartons of cigarettes to bribe people for info. Finally, I track down her exact working area, but the factory strictly bans strangers. So picture this. I am stuck standing outside, just waiting for her shift to end. Maybe because my suit looks so incredibly crisp, I end up attracting quite a few stares. The old me would feel totally awkward and just want to leave. But right now, my heart is just pounding. My heart pounds. My mind flashes back to her weeping at my grave after I was gone. Besides my parents, she was the only one who cried. She truly grieved for me from the bottom of her heart. Finally, around 7 p.m., the workers clock out. All these girls look completely drained, probably because the endless factory grind leaves them zero energy to even think straight. But even in that crowd, I spot her instantly. She stands out completely. Her skin is strikingly fair, catching the light right away. She has this tiny beauty mark under her clear, bright eyes. But because she is so exhausted, they look a bit dim. I step right up and block her path. She finally looks up, and the second she sees me, her eyes just light up. Her coworkers totally notice this too. They stare at me in shock and nudge her shoulder. Who is this guy? He is so good looking. Is he here for a job? No way. Nobody dresses up like that for factory work. Plus, it is pretty obvious he is here looking specifically for Liang Jackie. I just look straight into her eyes, keeping my voice gentle. Liang Jackie, you are Liang Jackie, right? She instantly panics, her cheeks flushing completely red, right up to her ears. With her fair skin, the blush makes her look incredibly cute. She just gives this tiny, careful nod, too shy to speak. So I patiently ask another question. Do you recognize me? She nods nervously, her fingers twisting the edge of her shirt. You are Lu too. Looking at her anxious little expression, I just have to laugh. Hey, do not be so tense. I'm not a bad guy. You just finished your shift, right? I want to take you out for a meal. Is that okay? She looks up, completely shocked. Finding my serious gaze, she gets scared and quickly ducks her head again. Wait, are you asking me or answering me? She apologizes. I am sorry, I just find this too unbelievable. You want to take me to dinner? Well, I am going to take that as a yes. With a smile, I gently tug her wrist, leading the way. Right behind us, her entire group of coworkers immediately start whispering and gossiping, but Liang Jackie stays quiet, just silently following my lead. After walking a short distance, I occasionally glance back to make sure she is keeping up. That is when I notice she has been staring at my back this whole time. Realizing she got caught, her face turns even redder. But honestly, it is strange. I suddenly feel this refreshing cool breeze sweep right through my chest, just washing away all my previous frustration. It has been so long since I felt this relaxed. I step up to open the car door for her, carefully shielding the roof, so she does not bump her head. She does not even know how to buckle the seatbelt. Clearly, she has barely ever been in a car. Deep inside, a spark of genuine anger flares up in me. What kind of parents do that? Such a sweet, hardworking girl, and they just leave her out here to suffer. Like this. I gently lean across to buckle the seatbelt for her. The silence inside the car feels just a little too heavy. Finally, she gathers up all her courage to ask Senior Lu too. Why were you looking for me? I smile. Hey, relax. I seriously just wanted to treat you to dinner. After chatting for a bit, the awkward tension between us starts fading away. She begins opening up, telling me all about her daily life. Every single month she earns a bit over 6,000 yuan, but sends 5,000 straight back home. She keeps barely 1,000 just to buy basic food. Right then. Now think about this for a second. In my past life, after I was gone, she brought so many expensive offerings to my memorial. A girl living on 1,000 yuan a month spent all that money just to honor my memory? My chest aches with a bitter kind of guilt. After finally exchanging numbers, I drop her off safely at her dorm. By the time I drive back up to the city, it is already 5 a.m. But that is fine. The real show is just getting started. At 8 a.m. sharp, I call Shen Sitong. Hey, Tong Tong, where are you right now? She sounds totally caught off guard. I am just resting at home. Why do you ask? Oh, nothing. I just missed you and wanted to hear your sweet voice. Hearing that, Shen Sitong breathes a massive sigh of relief. I miss you too, babe. When you get back, I am throwing a huge party for you. I hang up the phone. My warm smile instantly vanishes. I just lower my head and get back to work. By noon, I dial Shen Sitong again. But this time, dead silence. Nobody picks up. At first, I figured maybe she is just out grabbing lunch, so I drop it. But by 3 p.m., I dialing again. Still completely unreachable. A fake sense of panic rises up in me. I hurriedly dial every single contact number she has, but absolutely no one answers. The messages I am sending are not getting any replies either. From 3 to 5 p.m., there is still zero trace of her. I immediately start calling up all her friends and relatives, playing the worried fiank asking if anyone knows where she ran off to. After confirming nobody has a clue, I declare she must be missing. Shen Sitong's parents are freaking out, and they immediately try reporting it to the police. But since it has been less than 24 hours, they cannot open an official case. So, I start blasting missing person posts online, even begging my media friends to help share the word. Since I threw some serious cash into boosting the posts, A ton of online influencers actually step up to help spread it. The tragic news about Shen Sitong going missing quickly grabs everyone's attention across the net, and pretty soon, people start dropping huge clues right in the comments section. Hey, I went hiking today, and I think I actually saw this girl. She was hanging out with this tall, bulky guy. Oh, the plot thickens. Someone else replies, yeah, I saw her up on Tiangzi Mountain with some dude. They were even screaming at a mother because a kid bumped into them. I am that mother from the mountain. There is no mistake, it was definitely her. She completely stomped on my poor kid's foot and did not even bother apologizing. She actually dared to curse at me. Gradually, the internet detectives start putting two and two together. Wait a second, you were frantically searching for Shen Sitong, but she is out hiking with some other dude? Bro, I think you just got seriously played. You're out here panicking about her missing, while she is literally out having a romantic getaway with a random guy in the mountains. The whole story absolutely blows up. Major bloggers scramble to cover the drama, and just an hour later, someone drops a leaked photo. Inside the frame, Shen Sitong and Duan Zhu are completely naked, sprinting like absolute maniacs down the mountainside. Even though they tried picking a quiet trail, but they still get caught on camera. The internet is going totally wild. Do these two have absolutely zero shame? This is definitely no regular job. That mountain is packed with monkeys. People figure it out fast. They were probably getting busy and the monkeys just swiped all their clothes. No wonder both their phones are totally turned off. The monkeys completely robbed them. The entire internet absolutely explodes with laughter. They literally got caught in the act by a bunch of monkeys. Their phones and clothes snatched up, and they had absolutely no clue. Just so incredibly humiliating. This trashy couple seriously acts like they are not even human right now. In just a flash, netizens are going totally crazy discussing their absolutely ruined reputation. Some people are just roasting them, while others are aggressively hunting down their family's private details. People are even aggressively digging up their past secrets. For example, the fact that Thum Tng actually dated a total gangster back in high school gets completely exposed online. In just 2 short days, they become the absolute center of everyone's gossip. Meanwhile, over in a totally different part of this huge mess, this awful couple has absolutely zero clue. They are internet famous now. That is, until they literally dig through a trash can and finally find some old raincoat that somebody else just tossed away. They put it on, sneak quietly back into their hotel room, and boot up the computer to text. Then they finally see the disaster crash down right in front of them. A massive flood of exposed photos gets crazily shared online. People even savagely edited these pictures into so many incredibly humiliating memes. Every single piece of their personal information gets completely dug up for the world to see. Their relatives and friends are all absolutely shocked. They send countless messages asking if this wild mess is true. Thum Tng does not dare answer her parents' calls. She can only hide away inside the hotel room, sobbing loudly. Since childhood, she always cared about her pride. Now, she just wants to completely disappear. But Anh quickly steps in to stop her. He tells her they are already famous now. If she actually does something drastic, what is he supposed to do? Go down with her? Anh just holds her tight. He keeps comforting her, saying it is going to be okay. It is fine. This is just exactly how social media works these days. All they really need to do is wait another month, and nobody will even remember who she is. By then, everyone will have completely different drama to focus on. They should just stay inside and hide. Hide in here, and it will all blow over. Now watch this panic. Thum Tng acts like someone drowning who just found a lifeline. She frantically types out exactly. They really cannot go outside right now. They just have to wait until some new gossip drops, and people will forget them. But then she bursts into heavy, messy sobs. She cries out that she still wants to fade away entirely. Anh frowns, getting super annoyed. He tells her to stop crying and asks about her money. They seriously need to extend their hotel room right now. Suddenly, Thum Tng remembers LT just transferred her some cash. It is still sitting in her digital wallet. She frantically logs into her account. But the second she looks at that screen, her entire world basically collapses. Every single linked bank card has been completely cancelled. All of her contacts are entirely blocked and wiped totally clean. Thum Tng lets out a wild scream, grabbing a pillow and hurling it straight at the computer screen. But Anh quickly pins her down. He yells out, "What are you doing? That is the only device keeping us online. She cries that he blocked her completely. He cut all bank links, leaving her with zero money. Hearing this, Anha's face instantly drops. Meanwhile, LT just finished talking things over with his lawyer when Leng Giak suddenly calls him up. She starts right off with the sweet, comforting question. She just saw the crazy news online and asks if he is okay. LT answers her pretty calmly. He is doing fine, and honestly, those two finally got their karma anyway. She freezes up slightly, asking him exactly what he means by that. What if he knew about their cheating right from the start? Would she believe him? Leng Giak stays quiet for a long moment. Then, she slowly asks a question. Was them going up that mountain actually part of his plan too? He just nods. She hesitates for a quick second before asking more. Does that mean this entire chaotic situation was completely calculated by him? He never really wanted to go find Destiny up there. He just wanted to draw a massive crowd, ensuring those two would get absolutely destroyed by social media exposure. LT gives a faint, almost cold smile. He asks if she finds him terrifying now. Surprisingly, this time around, Leng Giak does not hesitate at all. She firmly tells him no way. Those two betrayed him first, making his revenge perfectly reasonable. LT lets out a soft chuckle at her words. But then, she wonders why he told her all this. Is he not afraid she might use it to blackmail him later? LT calmly replies that he has zero fear. He says it is because he knows she would never hurt him. He goes on to explain exactly why he needed to share the secret with her today. He definitely does not want her pity. And he really does not want her thinking he still has feelings for his ex. After everything, does she really think he still loves that cheater? Leng Giak is totally stunned. But why does he care so much about what she thinks regarding him and his awful ex anyway? You feel the awkwardness here, right? LT just laughs, saying he knows she likes him. A phone suddenly hits the floor. He quickly asks if she is doing alright. She stammers back that she is fine. But honestly, it is best they avoid meeting up right now. If someone snaps a picture, they might instantly try to frame him for cheating too. If that happens, defending himself would be super hard. She says they should just stick to secret phone calls. A really warm, genuine feeling starts creeping right into LT's chest. She is actually thinking entirely about his safety. If he had just met this sweet girl earlier in his past life, would absolutely everything be totally different now? Maybe they could have gotten married and had an adorable kid together. Instead, he let his terrible ex ruin everything, turning him into a tragic sacrifice for their twisted happiness. Thinking about how Leng Giak actually cried for him makes his eyes sting a bit. He softly thanks her for caring so much about him. After hanging up the phone, he and his lawyer drive straight to the courthouse. He officially demands his ex to pay back every single cent he ever spent during their entire relationship. Of course, he is totally willing to return whatever cheap gifts she gave him, even though they are barely worth anything. On top of that detail, even the presents she bought for him were actually paid for with his own money. Meanwhile, the cheating duo really thought hiding out in their hometown would just magically fix their mess, but shockingly, they still receive an official court summons today. Skipping court means they automatically lose the entire lawsuit, but if they actually appear, what if someone actually recognizes them? Right now, they feel like familiar faces are everywhere on the street, just waiting to throw things at them. Rotten eggs at them. Just one single insult is enough to make them want to hide completely underground. But if they lose the lawsuit, that massive amount of money could never be paid off in this lifetime. Don Hua grits his teeth. Fine, let's go. He has a lawyer friend who can definitely help them for exactly half the price. He claims they will absolutely win this case. Tham Tadong still hesitates though. But out there everyone is completely cursing me out. What if someone actually attacks me? Don Hua totally loses his patience. What are you so afraid of? Nobody dares to cause trouble outside the courthouse. Then you come with me, okay? Don Hua hesitates for a second, then totally brushes her off. It is such a small issue. Just go by yourself. He already found a lawyer for her. Tham Tadong stares at him, totally shocked. She tells Don Hua he did not say that at first. He actually promised to stick with her through thick and thin. Don Hua tries his best to coax her. Oh baby, he did not mean it like that. Fine. He will go with her, okay? Exactly 1 whole month later, the trial happens right on schedule. Tham Tadong anxiously steps out of her car, but the scene in front of her makes her freeze completely. The media had already gathered up, waiting there for a long time. Seeing her, they get incredibly excited and immediately rush forward. Tham Tadong, you have been hiding for a whole month now. Did you run off with your lover? Where did you two go? Hey guys, we finally managed to catch her today. Hurry up and boost the livestream views right now. Tham to dong. How could you possibly have the heart to cheat on him like that? Your boyfriend treated you so incredibly well. How could you be so cruel? We heard the hotel rent for you and your lover was all fully paid for by your boyfriend. Is that actually true? This lawsuit today is just an economic dispute, right? Do you plan to pay him back? A massive crowd heavily surges forward around her. Tham to dong panics and stumbles backward. She really thought Don Hua would face this alongside her, but who could have guessed? He had already driven away long ago. Thankfully, her lawyer steps in to protect her, so she finally gets inside. After just 1 month, Tham to dong looks completely different from her past self. People always say you need money to keep up your beauty. Without cash, she is no longer some stunning rose, but just a completely withered blade of grass. The moment she actually sees me, her eyes unconsciously dodge mine, looking incredibly guilty. Red eyes, heavy dark circles. She definitely has not been sleeping at all lately. During the trial, my own lawyer clearly presents hard evidence showing that over the past 3 years, I had transferred directly to Tham to dong a massive total over 15 million tri-currency, not even counting the expensive gifts or shared dining bills. Hearing this fact, Tham to dong's pale face loses all its color. She screams out loud, totally accusing me of extortion. She even publicly reveals that she actually got sterilized just for me. The whole courtroom goes dead silent in shock. Even the lawyer is briefly stunned, but I just calmly reply back. First of all, you got sterilized for yourself, definitely not for me. Furthermore, sterilization surgery at the hospital requires a signed consent form. Did I somehow force you to sign that paper? Second point, back then, you frequently posted online that you were absolutely terrified of having kids. That is enough to prove it was purely your personal decision. Third point, getting sterilized does not mean completely infertile. If you regret it now, you can still get reversal surgery. Do not use this as a cheap excuse. Saying that, I feel extremely satisfied inside. I suffered so much terrible pain in my past life. Now, you finally have to taste it too. Tham to dong just keeps screaming and crying, her precious image completely ruined now. But the court is definitely not a place where whoever yells louder automatically wins. Finally, the court strictly declares the defendant must formally compensate 18 million tri-currency to Tham to dong. This is an absolutely massive number. She finally breaks down completely, dropping straight to her knees, right in front of me, hugging my legs, crying and begging desperately. She knows she was wrong. She was just temporarily bewitched into following him. Please, forgive her. Can I please just forgive her? Didn't I say before that I never wanted kids? She already got herself completely sterilized for it. She is the absolute most suitable person for me. Who else is willing to get sterilized before marriage? Just look at her one more time, please. Can I please just show her a little pity? I let out a cold laugh, lean down, close, and whisper right into her ear. I said I did not want kids. And you actually bought that? Just brutal. Tham to dong's entire body trembles violently, staring at me with pure panic. You did this on purpose. I completely tricked her into sterilization. But who would ever believe her words now? People just think a totally morally corrupt person like her is just making up crazy lies. I roughly shake her hands off and walk away without looking back. Exactly 1 year later, Jia Kai and I get married. Only after surviving terrible things do people finally learn to appreciate real happiness. I strongly advise her to cut all ties with her completely toxic family. At first, she was obviously still bound by those heavy family ties. But after being hurt by her parents so many times, she finally gathered the courage to just let them go. After tying the knot, we live incredibly happily together. When she gets pregnant, I immediately pause my work to wholeheartedly take care of her every need. She has no relatives left anymore. I absolutely cannot leave her alone. But then, unexpectedly, Tham to dong suddenly shows up again in my peaceful life. She barely even looks human anymore. Her parents had to mortgage their entire house just to pay off the massive debts. But it still was not enough. She was forced to work as a heavy laborer, completely crushed by life. She is somehow even more pathetic than a year ago. She actually planned to come cry and complain to me about how badly Don Hua treated her. Apparently, the moment he found out she was sterilized, Don Hua just bluntly threw her out like trash. He even had the nerve to call her a useless hen that cannot lay eggs. Even though she practically begged and explained she could get reversal surgery, he still stubbornly decided to dump her, but everyone knows that is definitely not the only reason. She is now carrying a debt of over 1 million. Who would ever dare date her? When she spots me stepping out of my car, she tries to approach, but right at that moment, I open the passenger door and gently help a woman step out. It's my beautiful wife, her belly just starting to show the sweetest little bump. A new life growing right there. I just smile at her, then I look up, right into the pale, completely shattered eyes of Tham Tadong. She stares, desperately hoping I give her one last glance. But I gently guide my wife away, not even one look back. Suddenly, she chokes up, collapsing right there as pure, overwhelming heartbreak strikes her. Now watch this. This beautiful life should have been hers. Why did she ruin it? For a whole year, her mind screamed just one word: regret. Her absolutely tragic cries just echo through that empty parking lot, fading into the cold, silent air.